All right, we're here with one of the trainers of a J-sect. Your name is?
Dave Howard.
And what do you train? Teach?
I teach the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for John Lewis.
How long have you been learning the art?
I've been doing it for 5 years.
5 years? What belt are you?
Right now I'm a purple belt.
Purple.
Working towards my brown, but just working.
Oh, you mean purple? Oh, there's a brown belt and then there's black belt.
Right.
Ah. So what is it like training over here with other kids that come in?
Well, here, this has been the #1 school ever since I've started in Jiu-Jitsu. John Lewis was famous. I mean, the guy was one of the original extreme fighters, and I was all excited to train with him because I liked the way he moved. Because when I grew up watching Bruce Lee movies and stuff like that, and John moved just like it, and I was like, that guy's a stud. And then I met a cat by the name of Steve Da Silva first, and he was just phenomenal. And then through him, I got to meet John Lewis.
Really?
And I was just so impressed by how smooth and technical he was. So I've just been studying the art ever since.
He's a master of many arts, man.
Yes,
my goodness.
Yeah, he's done kickboxing, he's done boxing with skipper kelp, he's trained with one kick Nick. I mean, John's very well rounded. He's done stick and dagger, he's done collie, he's done all that stuff.
And so you were just proficient in the jiu-jitsu, right? That's what you're
right now, yeah.
You want to do.
I started off with Jeet Do. I was doing Jun Fun kickboxing and all that.
Yeah.
And now I just wanted to improve more my ground game, and then I started doing Thai boxing too. But
yeah, that's kind of what Jeet Do is.
Yeah, Jeet Do is just
no way.
Use what works and
exactly.
what doesn't.
Yeah, bite them if you have to.
Jiu-Jitsu worked.
Yeah, definitely, man. I mean, Bruce Lee was one of the first MMA fighters in the world before there was such a thing with MMA.
I just couldn't run around and eye jab everybody. I didn't. They wouldn't train with me afterwards.
Well, yeah. Well, you know. In fact, if you watch his movie, only like 5 movies, like I think more than half of it, he submitted the dude.
Yeah.
You know, he submitted Chuck Norris.
Yes.
The first fight with Sammo Hung at the beginning of Enter the Dragon, he armbarred him.
His name Keno in Enter the Dragon, the big old guy. He did an armbar.
Yeah.
And Bruce showed him that armbar. That's phenomenal.
It's like I never knew until you go back. Oh wow, my goodness, he was always been around.
Yeah,
you know?
Jiu-Jitsu's been around for a long time.
Yeah, it's a very old sport. I think it's like what, 2,000 years old or something like that.
Yeah. And it's only been popular, I guess, like the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu's only been around for, I think, 70 years now.
Really? What's the difference between that and regular Jiu-Jitsu?
Japanese Jiu-Jitsu is more of a defensive art, standing. Like they have more wrist locks, throws from the feet. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu was developed by a cat by the name of Helio Gracie and the Gracie family.
Yeah, we all know them.
Yeah, and, you know, and the best part about Helio is the guy had horrible cardio. He couldn't go to school. He used to pass out walking around. And he developed an art that took no strength and no muscle, because he didn't have it. And he would go 2-3 hour fights, man, with guys that are 200 pounds, and he was like $140.
Really?
Yeah, that to me is impressive, man. That's.
Yeah, well, we interview other people, and they say, yeah, they don't do much cardio, man. They just roll.
Yeah, that's true. You don't really need to do too much cardio for this art, unless you're going to compete. If you're into competing and you want to, you know, win your division, you need cardio. That gives you that edge.
Right. But so a lot of kids, when they come in, they would do strength over technique, my guess is, because that's what they know.
Yeah, because everything you learn is contradicting of Jiu-Jitsu. You think bigger is better. You think being faster is better. And with Jiu-Jitsu, it's the opposite. You really don't need to be stronger to do Jiu-Jitsu, and you don't need to be quick. You could take an older guy, as long as he understands his techniques, understands it, like with the gi, understand the grips and leverage points, he could beat a 15-year-old kid that's 3 times his size.
Really?
Yeah. It's just all about art. The art of it is about science, of breaking down your points of the body.
Right. We just got through watching a UFC 64. We're talking a little bit about that, how Rich couldn't get out of that cinch, which is a different art, which is Muay Thai.
Right.
And you're telling me he couldn't? There's no way for him to do it, huh?
That's a different type. It's still grappling. That's a grappling art.
Oh, it's a grappling art, really?
Yeah, Thai boxing has their own grappling.
Really?
And that's called neck tie wrestling. And when they clamp on your neck, if you get a really good Thai fighter, he knows how to clamp his elbows and lock his wrist. And it's like being stuck in a vice.
Really?
Yeah, if you don't really understand the art and have a good strong neck to where you can posture up, dude, you're stuck.
So laymen like me going, hey, why don't you just roundhouse him or something?
Right. Why can't you just pull out?
Why does it go,
Yeah, it's a different type of strength. It's that core strength of locking your elbows and using your abs and sucking your shoulders in. It's a different art. But again, it's grappling. It's another grappling art. That just shows how efficient grappling is in an MMA fight.
So in this school, you're also teaching some of that type of Muay Thai and boxing too, right?
Yeah, we teach Muay Thai here. We have boxing here, and we have Jiu-Jitsu, Judo, and wrestling.
Wow. What are some of the fighters that you like out there that's competing?
Oh, my favorite right now, I'm kind of biased because I know him really well, is Chuck Liddell. I love how you know what he's going to do, and he still does it.
Yeah.
He just forces his will. I like that. And I'm also a big fan of BJ Penn.
Right.
That guy's phenomenal on the ground.
Yeah. Well, he does like Crow Cop. Everybody knows that roundhouse is coming.
Right, you can't stop it. That's Chuck's hand.
Yeah,
You know he's going to throw the looping hook.
Yeah.
You've trained it, and it still hits you and knocks you out.
Yeah, the mother's got a big fist. My understanding is his hand is enormously big, and he's long too.
Yeah, and Chuck hits really, really hard.
Really?
Yeah,
oh, you spar with him?
Yeah, we were just playing around, and he was teaching me how to loop punch.
Yeah.
And I swear to God, he just touched me, and I was good. I took my gloves off. I was a girl. I was like, man, we'll wrestle, but I'm done hitting.
Really?
Yeah, that's
world-class puncher, basically.
Dude, he just makes you stupid.
Really?
Yeah, he has that much power in his hand.
Wow. You got a lot of fighters in here. Who are some of the ones that you spar with up here?
We've got Marvin the Beast Eastman.
He's coming up in fighting.
Chuck Liddell, Frank Triggs, another good friend of mine that comes in here. We're now going to be associating with Pride. We're going to be the home of Pride, so go-kart, all those guys are going to be here. So I can't wait to train with those guys.
When Fedor comes in, you let me know.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to have nothing but great guys in here.
Yeah, I mean, there's some of the best fighters in the Pride. I mean, both camps got good fighters, and I guess different categories.
I think anybody that fights in Pride is a good fighter.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Because he had to work his way to get there.
Yeah.
And I mean, hats off to those guys that get in there and take that kind of beating.
You have any ambitions to do things like that, or are you planning to, or you done it?
I don't know just yet. I think about it, but then, that's a full-time job. That's some hard training. And you really have to dedicate a lot of time to it. And I figure maybe after I get maybe my black belt, then maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because I want to be efficient in one art first. Because a lot of the guys now that fight, they're like blue belts, so they have a little bit of skill here, a little bit of skill there. They have no real foundation. And I think you need a good foundation. That's what makes Chuck Liddell, Tito Ortiz, Fedor. That's what makes these guys great. They have a great foundation, and they built off it.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you need in this fight.
Sounds like you learned great from your teacher, Mr. Lewis, there.
Yeah, John is phenomenal. John's the only cat I know, man, that he can stop you from passing his guard with one hand. One hand. Not too many guys can do that. And his technique is just unbelievable.
Wow, that's great.
Well, John's not a big guy, but man, he feels like he's huge when he's on top of you.
What's your schedule like in J-sect? I mean, when do you guys have classes?
We have classes Monday through Saturday. From Monday through Friday, we have 11 a.m. to about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. That's our jiu-jitsu classes. Mondays and Fridays is no gi. Wednesdays is pretty much our drill day. We just drill positions over and over. We just do a lot of stations. We do circuit training. And then on top of that, our night classes are from 6:30 to 8:30, except for Friday. Friday is 4:30 to 6:30 because it's Friday. Everybody wants to go out.
Wow.
Saturday is our open mat class. That's when anybody and everybody comes in and we just work. You might be downstairs kickboxing or you might be upstairs wrestling. And we also have boxing throughout the week from 7 to 8. We have kickboxing Mondays and Wednesdays and Fridays at 5 to 6:30. So no matter what, once you come to the school, you can go to any class. You can be here all day doing 3 different things.
Wow,
you can come in the morning and wrestle, go get something to eat, come back, do some kickboxing. Go get something to eat, come back, box. Get something to eat again, come back and do jiu-jitsu all day long.
So we have like 40 million tourists coming through. You guys have like day passes and things like that?
Yes,
so if you want to come in and have them train maybe a week or days, stuff like that?
We work out, like if you're here for a week, we'll work out a plan with you so that way it's not too much money out of pocket because we know you're here on vacation. So we'll work out a little deal with you so you can wrestle and still have money to do the things you want to do at night.
Well, great. Well, thank you very much for your time, Dave.
No problem.
We'll go upstairs and take a look at what you guys do up there.
All right.
All right.